Hey guys, DMV SoloRider back with another video. We are in Manassas, Virginia at Moto Member of Manassas. This is a Honda, Kawasaki, Suzuki dealership down here. And we are here to test ride some Kawasaki motorcycles because it is the Kawasaki Good Times Demo Day event. Now I came down here because I was really interested in riding a Ninja. You know, the Ninja 400, the quintessential beginner bike. And the way their demo events work is, you sign up for a specific time slot and, it's the luck of the draw. Whichever bike is available, that's the one you get. My first ride is going to be on the Z400. It's kind of the naked sport bike equivalent of the Ninja. Hopefully I can get on a Ninja 400, or I think it's a 6 or 650 after that, and kind of see what it's like to ride a proper sport bike. I've ridden the Triumph Trident, I've ridden the Harley Livewire, which for me, I consider it more of a sport bike. But, a Ninja is the real deal. So that's why we're here today. Hopefully we will have a chance to get on there. As always, if you like today's video, I'd certainly appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up. I put my ride and ride-related content out every Friday. Hit that subscribe button, click that notification bell. You'll get an alert when my new video is out. And I'd certainly appreciate it. It helps other people find motorcycle content. All right, guys, we are at our Z400. I wanted to ride that red Ninja, but it was already spoken for. Hopefully the camera angle's okay. This is the Z400. It's the naked equivalent of the Ninja. Seat height on this bike is about, I want to say 30.9 inches. So it's interesting. The seat height on this bike is the equivalent of the Pan America when its adaptive suspension is at the lowest setting. But it's I'm much more comfortable on this bike. My guess is that when you sit on the Pan America, even with the suspension all the way down, I'm not compressing the suspension much. And on this bike, I am. I don't know. Anyway, so I spoke with someone who had been on one of these, and he said that it's a pretty lackluster demo. Oh, that feels so good. It's so hot out. He said it was a kind of a lackluster demo, that he rode a Vulcan and he didn't get out of third gear. We'll see. As for the riding position on this bike, naked sport bike, it's not as bad as the bigger bikes are probably going to feel, assuming I get to try those out. Comparable to the Triumph Trident, I would say. Leaning forward, weight on my hands. I don't think there are any bells and whistles here, to be honest. I don't really know. I didn't really have a chance to really spend much time looking at this thing. I'm just riding. Transmission feels fine. Not sensing any issues. It's, the seating position, it's always a little weird for me. Shifting and moving my feet around. I don't know where the shift points on this bike are, where you want to get your max torque. It's a 399cc engine, small displacement. Feels pretty nimble. I mean, it's so small and light. I mean, how could it not feel nimble? Easy to grip with the tank with your knees. Give your hands a rest. Seat is kind of like a piece of cardboard. So the Z400 is like a beginner bike. That's what the Ninja 400 is. You know, it's a popular beginner bike. Yeah, I mean, I think this is appropriate for that. You know, the throttle doesn't have, I mean, I haven't even gotten it to 40 miles an hour. The throttle doesn't kill you. You barely feel anything. You don't feel a lot of torque. This has, I think, 28 foot-pounds of torque, or pound-feet, whichever it is. Not a lot. It's a much smaller engine, smaller bike than cruisers. Brakes stop well. Just had to jam on them to get this yellow light. Not a problem. Oh, shit. Well, that was embarrassing. I stalled at demo day. Oh my gosh. I don't know if these are self-canceling turn signals. We'll see. They haven't canceled yet. Nope. You know, not sure what to tell you about this bike, guys. It's okay. I mean, I would have a hard time justifying buying something like this over like a Triumph Trident if you really want a beginner's, you know, naked sport bike. I mean, it feels nice and peppy, you know. It's not a boring motorcycle to ride. You know, you don't feel that huge rush of torque, at least at the speeds we're riding and the RPMs I'm exploring. I mean, I don't really have much of a chance to get the RPMs up closer to the red line. I think I've been at about 6,000, 7,000 RPMs. And, you know, once you hit 7,000, I wasn't really feeling much there. You know, I just kissed it right there a little bit. I don't know. Definitely doesn't have self-canceling turn signals. You know, it's very light and nimble. As everyone else would say, it's very flickable. Whatever. I would never buy this bike. No, thank you. I don't like the way it looks, to be honest, but it's just the riding position is super uncomfortable. The clutch pull is, I mean, light as a feather. Neutral is hard to find. Bike is so light. I mean, I'm on my tiptoes, but they're comfortable tiptoes, you know, almost like the Challenger, which has a 26-inch seat height. I don't know how that works. I'll have to double check the stats. Maybe I got the seat height wrong. But I sat on their Versys 900 or Versys 1000, which is supposed to have a 33-inch seat height. And I had no problems with it. It was more comfortable for me than the Pan America, but hopefully we'll have a chance to ride that too. I want to thrash this little thing. I mean, you know, for a small engine, not knowing much about this motorcycle, I don't find it lacking in power. I mean, I don't know how it'd be on the highway, but in these streets, 25-mile-an-hour streets, going 35, 40, I mean, it's a fun little bike. Don't think this has cruise control or really any bells and whistles. I don't even see controls, like if it has rider modes. I don't think it's got any of that. This is a basic bike, as far as I understand. That's the whole test ride. Well, Kawasaki, I love that you're doing this, but I have to give the win on the demo ride event to Indian. Go to more places, you know, a longer ride. It's an easier event, you know, just run up to a bike and grab it. Here you have to sign up for each scheduled test ride. Well, that was my very, very brief test ride of the Kawasaki Z400. It's all right. You know, I didn't feel any power that would get you into trouble. At no point in time in any gear that I rode in, which was briefly through 4 gears, did that throttle feel like it was going to pop anything up. You know, pretty simple. All right, let's see what's next. We are finally, after hours of waiting, going to take out a little Ninja 400 for a test ride. And you might be asking yourself, well, you already rode the Z400. Why bother with the Ninja 400? And honestly, it's red, and it's the bike I came here to ride primarily. So yeah, I could take a bigger Ninja out. But, you know, I kind of wanted to see what that whole beginner sport bike experience is like. So that's why we're sticking with the little ones. And again, you know, the seat height on this is, I think, 30.9 inches. About what the Pan America is when it's all the way down. This is more comfortable for me. I don't really get it. I think the Pan America suspension just didn't compress much for my weight. And these bikes do. All right, let's start this puppy. Ooh, I like it. So I did a little quick research after I rode the Z400, and these bikes don't really have anything. You have like your trip counters, trip A and B. The only real, you know, technology they really go into is that it has like an economic ride mode. Not a mode, but it'll signal to you when like you're supposed to upshift to save gas. That's about it. And yeah, it's a Ninja. It's a sport bike, fully fared, but it's a far more upright seating position than you'd get on one of their more powerful bikes, as I understand it. It feels pretty much just like the Z400. Bike is super light. I mean, it's like, you know, when I get on an Indian Scout, it feels like a toy compared to the Challenger or the old Chieftain. Same thing with this, even more so. It's so light. I dig it. I love the red. It's a beautiful red. It's a nicer red than the Challenger. I mean, the Challenger's is nice. It's just a shade darker. Ooh, gotta get used to that friction zone. Oh, I like this a lot. It's just a fun little bike. I mean, it's got some good pickup. It does not have self-canceling turn signals, as I just discovered, like the Z400. I don't know what it is. I feel like the riding position on this bike is a little more comfortable than the Z400. It's probably exactly the same. You know, the riding position is so different from what I'm used to, but I find it, you know, interesting. Not something I probably want to be on for a long time, but it's fun, it's different. As far as the throttle, I mean, you know, I'm in third gear, 35 miles an hour, 5,000 RPMs. I really haven't had a chance to rip it. You know, on the Z400, crank the throttle as hard as you could. You weren't gonna pop a wheelie. You weren't gonna fly off the back of the bike. You know, these are small engines. Popular for the track, as I understand it. Transmission feels good, you know, clicks into place. Have a heck of a time finding neutral on these bikes. Yeah, I mean, you know, so I'm on my tiptoes, as you can see, just like the Z400. Feels fine. It's kind of weird having this big old tank between your legs like this. God, I am struggling with my feet. Not used to having my feet up this high. I missed the peg when I went to shift. At least I didn't stall. I don't know that it makes a difference. Yeah, the friction zone catch is a little... It's got a slipper clutch. The friction zone catch is a little far out there. And I end up over-revving in first. So it's not smooth. But that's something you get used to pretty quick. Clutch pull is light. No issue there. Bike leaning against my left leg that's down on the ground is just light as a feather, man. Could do this all day long. I like it. I like the bike. It's fun little bike. I think it looks a heck of a lot better than the Z400. Oh yeah, this bike, I like this a lot more than the other one. It just looks cooler. I don't know that the riding position's all that much different. Come on, demo guy, let's go. Yeah. This ride is just a little too chaste. Can't really get a sense for how high to rev it, how high you'd want to rev it. Seat is hard as a rock. But it's wide. At least it's got that going for it. You know, gripping the tank with your knees so you can relieve your hands. The weight on your hands is not a problem. It's very comfortable, very natural. Alright, I felt that. I felt a little jerk back when I jammed on that throttle in second gear and I slid back a bit. Leaning over is super simple and easy. Yeah, such a light bike. This engine, while it's small, it's got a lot of power for this, you know, light little package. It's wonderful, to be honest. It feels great. You know, if this is your quintessential beginner sport bike, you know, I think you're getting a good bike for your money. And for your, you know, as a beginner, I think you're good on this bike. It's gonna keep you entertained. It's got plenty of pop. Again, you know, third gear, 35 miles an hour. This is about as fast as we've gone. I can't really talk to you about the performance of the bike. It feels like it would just be a blast. Like if you took this to the Blue Ridge Parkway, man, that would be a lot of fun. Tail of the Dragon would be a lot of fun. I mean, it's, you know, it's light as a feather. You have no issue on this bike. Plenty of ground clearance. You're not scraping nothing. Yeah, I mean, if you're new to motorcycles and you have your eyes set on a Ninja 400, my sense of this very unimpressive short test ride is you'd be making a very good decision in getting this bike. You know, feels like it's got a lot of fun to it. How long that would last for a beginner, I honestly couldn't tell you. You know, if I had this out in the twisties for a day and could do as I please, I might hate it. So, you know, take my opinion with a grain of salt. You know, I've mentioned having a second bike, you know, different tools for different tasks. Could I see myself owning a sport bike? Yeah, I think so. It would be really hard to pick one based on this experience. Like, it's not going to be a Ninja 400, is my guess. What it would be, I have no idea. Probably something that I've rented and could actually explore a bit. Well, guys, that was the Ninja 400. I enjoyed it for, you know, the test ride is what it is. Nothing I can do about that. But it was cool to ride it. It looks fantastic. I gotta be honest with you. I think this bike looks sharp. That red is something else. All right, guys. Well, that is going to wrap it up for us here at Kawasaki Demo Day. It just takes too long. You got to skip every other ride, so it's like an hour in between, and I don't want to sit here in the hot sun waiting for another ride. So we'll check out some of their other bikes another time. But if you enjoyed this video, I'd certainly appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up. I put my ride and ride-related content out every Friday. Hit that subscribe button. Click that notification bell. You'll get an alert when my new video is out. And I certainly appreciate it. It helps other folks find my videos. Anyways, until next Friday, y'all stay safe out there. DMV SoloRider out.